The combat sphere of Draxus Prime was the Empire's crown jewel, a massive arena where the galaxy's fiercest warriors fought for glory, riches, and the entertainment of billions. Champion Krelnax had never lost a match. His 4 arms wielded energy blades with surgical precision, and his chitinous armor had turned away weapons that could pierce starship hulls. Today's opponent was unexpected, a human female. The crowd erupted in laughter when Sergeant Alicia Ramirez walked into the arena. She was small by galactic standards, barely reaching Krelnax's chest. No armor, no enhanced weapons, just standard military fatigues and combat boots. The betting pools shifted dramatically in Krelnax's favor. A Deathworlder, the announcer's voice boomed. But can she survive against our champion? Krelnax clicked his mandibles in amusement. Human, you should have stayed on your soft world. This is a place for warriors. Alicia said nothing. She simply stretched her neck, rolled her shoulders, and waited for the starting bell. The match began. Krelnax moved with lethal speed, all 4 blades converging on the human. The crowd leaned forward, anticipating a quick kill. But Alicia wasn't there anymore. She dropped low, sliding under his guard with movements that seemed impossible for a biped. Her fist connected with Krelnax's knee joint. The champion stumbled, more surprised than hurt. The crowd murmured. No one had ever made Krelnax stumble. Lucky strike, Krelnax growled, recovering instantly. He pressed his attack with renewed fury. For 3 minutes, Alicia played defense. She dodged, weaved, and deflected with minimal movement, conserving energy while Krelnax burned through his. The crowd grew restless. This wasn't the quick execution they'd expected. Then Krelnax landed a hit. His blade caught Alicia's shoulder, sending her sprawling across the arena floor. Blood spread across her uniform. She didn't get up immediately. The crowd erupted in cheers. Finally, the Deathworlder had fallen. Krelnax raised his blades in victory, turning to acknowledge his fans. The arena thundered with approval. 15 seconds of celebration. That's all it took for everything to change. Alicia pushed herself to her feet. Blood dripped from her shoulder, but her eyes had transformed. The calculated calm was gone, replaced by something primal. Something that came from a world where humans had climbed to the top of the food chain not through strength or speed, but through sheer, relentless aggression. "Oh," Alicia said quietly, her voice barely audible over the crowd. "Now you've made me angry." Krelnax turned back, confused by the shift in atmosphere. The crowd's cheering had died abruptly. They'd seen her eyes. What happened next would be replayed across the galaxy for years to come. Alicia moved. Not with the defensive caution of before, but with explosive violence that defied her injury. She closed the distance before Krelnax could raise his blades. Her knee struck his thorax with a crack that echoed through the arena. As he bent forward, her elbow crashed down on his neck ridge. Krelnax's armor, impervious to energy weapons, proved useless against the kinetic force delivered by Earth gravity-trained muscles. He swung wildly, but Alicia was inside his reach, where his long blades couldn't angle properly. She worked his joints systematically, knee, elbow, shoulder, each strike delivered with brutal efficiency. The champion fell. The crowd sat in stunned silence. Then Alicia did something that made every species in attendance understand: she didn't stop. On Earth, predators often played with wounded prey. Humans had evolved past that. When humans fought, they fought to remove threats permanently. Alicia's training, her instincts, and her species' evolutionary baggage all pointed to one conclusion: finish it. Her fists rained down on Krelnax with mechanical precision. The champion's armor began to crack. His mandibles fractured. His respiratory spiracles collapsed. "Stop the match," someone screamed from the control booth. "She's killing him." The arena barriers should have activated, separating the fighters. They didn't. Alicia had shattered the proximity sensors during her assault. Security forces poured into the arena, 12 armed guards trained to handle the galaxy's most dangerous fighters. Alicia's head snapped toward them, and they saw what Krelnax had failed to recognize: humans were pursuit predators. Once locked onto prey, they didn't stop until it stopped running. Or until it stopped moving entirely. "Threat detected," Alicia said, her voice flat with combat focus. She moved toward the security team. The first guard raised his weapon. Alicia grabbed it, twisted, and the guard's arm broke with an audible snap. She used his body as a shield against incoming stun blasts, then threw him into 2 other guards. That's when the crowd started running. Panic spread like wildfire. 70,000 spectators scrambled for exits. The human wasn't fighting like a gladiator anymore, she was fighting like a soldier in hostile territory, neutralizing threats with mechanical efficiency. More security arrived. Alicia disabled 6 more before the heavy sedatives finally took effect. Even then, it took 3 times the normal dose to bring her down. When the dust settled, Krelnax was in critical condition, 18 security personnel were injured, and the Draxus Prime combat sphere had a new rule: no humans in death matches. The footage went viral. Every species watched in horror as the weak human transformed from prey to apex predator in 15 seconds. Xenobiologists rushed to update their files. Military strategists reconsidered their assessments. The Galactic Combat League issued an official statement: humans were banned from competitive fighting unless facing other humans. Because the galaxy had learned something terrifying that day, humans didn't just fight to win. They fought like their ancestors had, with the knowledge that in nature, mercy was a luxury predators couldn't afford. Alicia Ramirez woke in a medical bay, confused but alive. Her shoulder had been treated, and surprisingly, she wasn't under arrest. Instead, the arena's owner stood beside her bed, contract in hand. "Sergeant Ramirez," he said carefully, "how would you feel about training our security forces?" Alicia smiled. It wasn't a friendly expression. "I'd need coffee first. And a raise." The arena cheered when she fell. 15 seconds later, they learned why you never celebrate too early when fighting a human.